and we're gonna make a ramen that's purely made with all wild ingredients. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another episode of Outdoor Chef Life. I'm Taku, and today we're doing a little hiking looking for mushrooms. Let's go. Hopefully you find something good today. Hoping for some bolites, like some king bolite. That would be nice. Found a big one right here, guys. A big bolite. Feels still pretty firm. Pretty new one. Look at that. Smells good. A little nutty. Jocelyn just spotted that porcini right there. See that? This is 100% porcini, baby. Porcini, baby. Porcini, baby. That's a nice one. This is like a nice firm one. This is very young. Little fun fact, mushrooms and humans have more in common genetically than mushrooms and plants. So we're closely related. That's why I'm such a fun guy. Got him. To all the dads out there, yeah, you can borrow that joke. Yeah, the fun fact is true though. Yeah. Mushrooms and humans have genetically have a lot in common. Now I'm back at my house, and the mushrooms that you saw us collect in this video, they are right here. We ended up cleaning them up, slicing them, and dehydrating them. This is the porcini that's in here right now. And the big one that I found, that one ended up being a queen bolete. So very similar to a porcini, but not quite a porcini, but still amazingly delicious. And wow, these smell so good. Those dehydrated porcinis, when you take a sniff, it's just like this earthy, nutty, amazing scent. And it's just mushrooms, dehydrated mushrooms have a lot of umami in them. With that, we're gonna combine other ingredients that I've caught before and that all have sort of this umami, and we're gonna make a ramen that's purely made with all wild ingredients. That's what I'm gonna try to do today. All ingredients that are going in this ramen are gonna be the ones I caught. And I know what you're saying, the noodles, how'd you catch the noodles? All right, you're right. You can't catch noodles. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make my own noodles from scratch. So, you know, that's kind of counts. So the other ingredients that I've caught in the past include the herring that I recently caught that has been smoked, and it has amazing scent, and that has a lot of umami as well. Another one that you've seen in the past, I harvested some kelp, and in particular this one was the feather boa kelp. And in one video I dehydrated it and I tried it, and it tasted exactly like kombu. So that's what I'm using for the broth of this. A lot of umami as well. Kelp, dehydrated kelp, has a lot of umami. So another ingredient that we're throwing in there is bonito. This is it right here. You see that? This is dehydrated, or I'm sorry, this is smoked bonito. And this is exactly like katsuobushi. I put it in a video just briefly one time that I was experimenting and trying to make bonito flakes. So this is the bonito. Smells amazing. Also umami bomb. Umami, all about it. So we're gonna shave that and put that in the broth as well to give it even more flavor. And another thing we're throwing in there is just some crab that I caught in the past, and I cleaned, deshelled, and I had it kept in the freezer for a time like this. And we're including in there some garden chilies as well, and I'm gonna count that as a wild ingredient since we didn't buy it. Jocelyn grew it from seed, so I'm gonna say that counts. Other than that, I think we'll use a little bit of soy sauce in there and just for the tare, and the noodles will be handmade from scratch. Everything else that's going into the ramen is gonna be completely things that we've harvested. The flavors should be incredible. Before we move on, a little word from our sponsor for today, Misen. This video is sponsored by Misen. Misen believes that better tools make for a better cooking experience, which starts with the most important tool in the kitchen, the chef knife. This is what I call a good quality knife for a great price. A bang for your buck, or should I say, a great price for your slice. It can handle the tough work like chopping a thick cabbage to even the most delicate work like slicing fish into sashimi. This single knife is made to replace an entire set of knives. A small detail I really like about the Misen is this right here. From the handle to the heel of the knife, the nice little curvature there, and it fits your finger perfectly. And I really like it. I know I really like this because it's similar to my Ninox. See how it goes from the handle to the heel of the knife very smoothly. And that's one of the reasons why I really like my Ninox, except this costs $240 and this is only $65. So you get pretty much that same style, but you pay a fraction of the price. Go to Misen.com/OutdoorChefLife for 20% off your first order. Misen.com/OutdoorChefLife for 20% off your first order. So the first thing you need to make fresh ramen is sodium carbonate. And where do you get sodium carbonate? It's from baking soda. All you do is get a sheet tray, lay a thin layer of baking soda on there, put it in the oven for 250 degrees for 1 hour. Then it becomes sodium carbonate. But be careful with this stuff. It can give you a mild burn on your skin. And we're starting off with about 300 grams of all-purpose flour. Now you need the sodium carbonate, and we're gonna put about 2 teaspoons of sodium carbonate and about a cup of water. There we go. Give that a mix. Make sure everything's dissolved. And reason for the sodium carbonate is that it makes the flour kind of more bouncy. It makes the dough more bouncy, elastic, and like that ramen noodle that you get in a restaurant. I'm just gonna mix that up. It looks a little too wet. Looks like it was too much water, so I'm just gonna add a little more flour. So you want it to look kind of more crumbly, little more dry looking. I would recommend using some gloves. I'm just gonna do it real quick with my hand and kind of just bring everything together, and that should be fine like that. I'm gonna wash my hand real quick, and we're just gonna cover that up with saran wrap, and we'll let it sit for 30 minutes. While we wait for the dough for the ramen, we're gonna toast off some of the ingredients here. The smoked herring, the chili peppers, as well as the pores from the queen bolete. And we're gonna put it in the oven, 350 degrees, probably about 10-15 minutes. And that's Fahrenheit, 350 Fahrenheit. And this is partly why we're doing this inside today. It's raining today. So I'm gonna grab some of these green onions. Jocelyn's Garden green onion. Take out the dough, and we're gonna save that wrapper. I'm gonna use it again. Portion this off into a couple chunks here. Let's roll this out. Fold it and roll again. And at this stage, we're gonna let it rest one more time. Another half hour. Nice and toasty now. Gotta take them out. And I mainly want to use these, the mushrooms. I gotta make some powder with them. Let's see. Yep. So using a mortar and pestle, and these are the pores of the queen bolete. Going to create an amazing flavor in the soup. I'm also gonna crush the chili flakes in here as well. And we just need to do a sort of a rough crush on these. And that's it right there. So I just flaked apart the smoked herring and I'm put it back in the oven and try to just completely dehydrate it. The dough should be ready now. First I'll roll it out again. Alright, we'll go on the biggest setting first. Nice. We'll fold it again 3 times and we'll put it back in there. Let's make it a little smaller now. I like my noodles sort of on the thicker side. I'm gonna go to the number 3 setting and I think that'll be good. Perfect. So now I'm going to cut the dough with a knife because I could do it with the pasta maker, but the settings only have like a fettuccine size and then a spaghetti size. And I want it kind of in between that, like a linguine, because I like my noodles a little bit thicker. So, I just picked this up from Bernal Cutlery in San Francisco. This is to cut or slice katsuobushi. You can't use a regular mandolin because katsuobushi is way too dense. It's too hard for the mandolin. So you need a special one with the this thing has a really thick blade. Look how thick that metal is right there. This is the only thing you can really use to shave your own katsuobushi. So that's what I'm gonna use today. This is a little dangerous because the piece of bonito I have is so small. So we'll try to take our time and just be careful. Use one of these gloves. Much safer. They say katsuobushi is the hardest food substance in the world. And look at that, that looks like a rock right there. So this is basically what it looks like. This is basically what I'm making right here. And normally it's flaky like this, you know? But these are from bigger pieces of bonito. Since I have these little tiny guys, they kind of look just like sawdust or something. But it'll still give a lot of flavor. So this is the herring. This should have enough oil of its own. Look at that. So I'm not going to need any additional oil. You can see it's starting to get oily in there. So this is going to be our tare. Now I'm going to add some soy sauce. A little bit of mirin as well. Turn it off, add the flakes. There we go. I'm just gonna rehydrate my mushrooms now. The chili flakes, that's what's in here. And I'm gonna try to do this without spilling. Yeah, that's never gonna happen. There we go. Mushroom broth. And then we're also going to add the powder. Remember that? The mushroom powder. So we should have a very tasty mushroom stock here. little more water to it. The salt is gonna come from the kelp. Remember that? When you dehydrate kelp, it creates a layer of salt on the kelp itself. And that's actually naturally forming MSG. That's how you get that umami bomb in kelp. So this is very salty, so we're gonna toss some of that in the broth. And this, in here, I put the Bonito flakes. So that's gonna add even more flavor to the stock. Kelp and the Bonito flakes, you don't wanna boil it. About 5 minutes steeping these. So I basically just made a dashi broth. We're finally almost finished now. I'm just tempering the bowls here. Just put some hot water in it so when the broth goes in, it stays warm. I got my ingredients all laid out right here. Got the crab, got the green onion, got the mushrooms, got the chili oil. Got my noodles right here that I just have to put in the hot water. Bam. And now let's put it all together. Going in. Alright, that's only going to take 1 minute. Add some tare first. And you want some crab, right?
Yes.
Of course. Oh, let's add some chili oil. Porcini mushrooms that Jocelyn found. Very good score. And these are also a type of mushrooms that was dehydrated as well. This is the witch's butter. Flavor wise, there's not much to it, but figured it'll add a little color. And there you have it, guys. The wildest ramen ever. Everything from harvested ingredients, including the mushrooms, everything in the stock except for the tare, the soy sauce and mirin. But other than that, pretty much all harvested ingredients, right? And then the noodles, self-made, so that kind of counts.
Even the bowl self-made.
Oh, even the bowl too. Jocelyn made this bowl, the ceramic bowl. This is her first one she ever made and came out awesome. And we're gonna be making more ceramics soon too. We're finally done. That took a lot of work. Beer time. Morgan Territory Brewing, double IPA.
I have a hard cider.
Also, cheers. Come back.
I didn't look.
I know.
Oh. Just like apples.
Alright, let's dig into this right away before it gets too cold.
I'll try the broth first.
Yeah, let's try the broth.
It smells really good.
Whoa!
Ooh.
Oh, the flavor is... The flavor is actually like perfectly flavored. I thought it might be too salty or maybe not enough, but... Wow.
Yeah, very unique too.
Wow, yeah, it is.
I've never had a ramen like this.
All that work was worth it. Oh, these noodles are so good too. I like them thick, nice, and kind of has a little bounciness. Oh, good kick from the chilies. And it's really, it's packed. It's literally like, the word is umami. It's packed with umami.
Oh, that's some good
The
broth.
flavor is, yeah, that's some good broth right there. Flavor is, it's got some nuttiness from the porcini. The porcini gives it like this earthy nuttiness that's so good. It's a little briny from the kelp, and you get all that mixed together. Yeah, that mushroom powder stuff, that kind of makes it a little bit sweet too. Has earthiness, nuttiness, sweetness, saltiness. It's got it all.
The spice is perfect.
And if you're still not slurping your ramen, you're not eating it right. Always slurp your ramen.
This broth is perfect.
It really is a perfect broth. Yeah, don't be intimidated to make your own ramen noodles because it's really easy. It's that easy. It's like pasta.
Worth it.
Yeah, it is worth it. Oh, and by the way, these porcini mushrooms, that was from a couple months ago. So we didn't just find it. It's been dehydrated for a while, and I've been kind of waiting, holding off to make this episode. I had to do it sometime, and I finally decided, all right, let's do this.
On a rainy day is perfect.
And perfect on a rainy day, yeah.
Oh, you finished already?
Yeah, I finished already. I'm waiting for you. 8.5%. Sheesh.
It was rich
Awesome.
without being heavy.
Exactly. Rich without being heavy.
Because there's some ramen that it's too rich.
Alright guys, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you for watching again, and thank you to Misen for sponsoring this video. Misen.com/outdoorcheflife. Get your 20% off. And that's a $65 knife, 20% off. That's like $50 something, $52. That's a steal for that knife. That's a no-brainer. I think I'm gonna get my mom one. Might get my brother one too. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Peace.